Everybody was wrong about Sandro Tonali. The takes that were had about him before he even kicked a ball for Newcastle was ridiculous. We've got people branding him as a flop. We've got people saying he's the flop of the year when he was out with a ban. So we're going to be looking to all of that whilst also looking at his stats this season, because he's been absolutely phenomenal and has proved those haters wrong. Because I know Newcastle fans knew about his quality, but I mean, the rest of the Premier League certainly didn't. But before I begin, if you are new here, please hit that subscribe, hit the like as well. It's always greatly appreciated. But let us get straight into it and listen to this take firstly from Theo Baker about Tonali when he was just joining.
Underperforming player.
I struggled with this, you know.
I didn't. I went for Tonali.
Really? I didn't actually think of that.
Do you know what? I'm actually a bit cautious on it because Italians tend to underperform in the Premier League.
Where are you going with
It's the physicality.
It is, and like seeing him playing against Villa, he got caught out on the counter quite a bit.
First season in the Prem.
It's intense.
And to be fair, the Ben guy that was on screen, that's on screen right now, is a Newcastle fan. He agreed that maybe Tonali would struggle in the Premier League. But physically, no way. Everybody watched Tonali at AC Milan. Well, I watched him at AC Milan. One of the traits which is his best is his ability to have an engine to keep on going and to be physically strong. He was never going to struggle in that aspect of the Premier League. Maybe technically, you could probably say Tonali, I don't know, does he have enough in his tank to be good technically? But then again, at AC Milan, he was branded as a Pirlo regen for his ability on the ball. So, again, it just goes to show Tonali's doing so well for the expectations people had about him. They thought he would flop. They thought he wouldn't be good enough. Now, let's look at this other sort of view from expressions about Tonali.
I'm going to start with Sandro Tonali. You know them right there. 75 million euros, blood. Newcastle paid 75 million euros, blood. And allegedly, this guy was at the bookies, trying to buy out his contract because his missus didn't like the weather, fam. You know what I mean? He was trying to end up back in Milan, fam. You know them right there. Brother, they thought that they were getting Andrea Pirlo, blood, and they ended up getting Danny Ocean, bruv. Do you know what I mean? No, honestly, they thought they were buying an Italian, bro. And that brother's from Las Vegas. You know what I mean? He's had more games in a casino than he's played for the Magpies. Do you know what I mean? He's been suspended like a chandelier, like since October. You know what I mean, Ronnie?
And to be fair, Expressions is quite funny with the way he speaks, but it just shows another view, another fan who has this opinion of Tonali that he was going to flop, that the ban shows that he's a flop. His mentality to get back from that is absolutely unreal. We got more takes here. Sandro Tonali is low-key overrated. He isn't worth the 70 million euros price Newcastle have paid for him. And again, people used to put his figure in euros. He only cost 55 million. And I look around the Premier League, Mount cost 60 million. Can you believe Tonali was cheaper than Mount? And we see what Mount has done. That is a flop. And he was signed in the same summer that Tonali went to Newcastle. Mount was signed. It just goes to show Tonali has exceeded expectations. He's playing like an 80 million player rather than this sort of 40 million flop that everybody was branding him as. He's probably now doubled his value. That's how good he has been. And I think some Newcastle fans, I saw them say this. I know that not all of you will probably agree, but you say Tonali is better than Bruno. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but you think Tonali is not, maybe not better, but more important to your team than Bruno. And that just goes to show the levels he has shown. We had more takes like this. Tonali is going to flop so bad, not even because he's overrated. I actually think he's a very good player. Okay, fair enough. But because he looks so depressed to be in there. Do you remember when Tonali joined and he wasn't smiling in the photos? Everyone was laughing, saying he doesn't want to be here. Again, judging a book by its cover. Now he absolutely loves it. He's loving the Toonami. He's loving the experience. He's loving Newcastle. And look, people thought he would be back in Italy. The only time he'll be back in Italy is when Newcastle are playing in the Champions League game and he's absolutely bossing the midfield. And that's just the reality of the performances he has shown. And it is kudos to him, kudos to the people around him like Eddie Howe, making him feel even more welcome. And again, it just shows us as fans, some Newcastle fans even agreed that he looked sad in the photos. I saw a lot of that stuff. But he's a professional. He'll always give his all. And just because someone isn't smiling in photos, it doesn't mean they don't want to be here. I mean, come on now. I mean, Tonali, for me, he has all the fundamentals to be a very, very good footballer. Even before the season he's having now, he always had it in him. And I want to talk about the AC Milan version of Tonali because it always shocks me that people get surprised about how good he was, because statistically he was so good for AC Milan. In the Champions League, he had more chances created at one point than any other player. You had Kevin De Bruyne in his prime when Tonali was at AC Milan playing in the Champions League, and he created more big chances. Because always, people have said, okay, he can run well, he can physically do well, but he can also create. He's nice technically. Like I said, I struggle to say Pirlo, but they used to call him the Pirlo regen before they said, okay, maybe he's more like a Gattuso. But he can still do the creative side of things. And this is why you see Newcastle not really struggle to break teams down as much, because not only is Bruno fantastic on the ball, Tonali is as well. Joe Linton can be a box threat in there. They have so many players with different attributes and collective qualities that, okay, maybe his passing isn't on the level of a Bruno, but he still can pass, he still can create, he can still be a threat. And all those things were shown at AC Milan, so it really does shock me that people were so critical before he actually made a kick and got a kick in for Newcastle. It really, really surprises me. But let's look at his stats this season. I think it's absolutely unreal. The percentile, how this is done is the higher the number, the better the player is in that category. So for the 85 percentile, he's in the top 15% of midfielders for minutes per goal conceded. For clean sheet, he's in the top 25%. For interceptions, he's in the top 20%. In the shots blocked, he's in the top 25%. So all of these stats show Tonali, okay, he's fantastic defensively. Even in the ground duels, 5.1 per 90 is unreal. 1.15 per 90 in terms of, interceptions, like I've said, is unreal. 2.03 tackles per 90. Again, it is really, really good. Sandro Tonali's putting up fantastic numbers in there. And he shocked everybody. They thought he'd be a flop. They thought, okay, maybe he's not going to have it to do it in the Premier League. But my word is he's showing people that he can do it. He has the qualities. He has the fundamentals. And I'm happy for him. I really, really am. And it's not even just the defensive side of things, because in possession, Tonali's been absolutely fantastic. 16 successful dribbles. He can play in the tight spaces and get out of them. How many times have we seen Tonali get the ball in a tight situation and get out of it? He's technically there. He's got a 66.7% dribble success rate. He's won so many fouls, 37 fouls. Touches in the opposition box. He can get into the opposition box. Very comfortable on the ball, fantastic defensively, and doesn't mind putting himself about. Doesn't mind to do the dirty work. I mean, it's just an impressive midfielder. It really, really is. Newcastle have a top player. And I think there was some talks, actually, when Rodri was injured, about Manchester City bringing in Tonali. And I know City, you can say, is it really the pinnacle of football? But for Pep Guardiola as a manager to want you, it should just be more than enough for people to recognise that Sandro Tonali is a fantastic player. And there is the police maybe coming in to take Tonali from Newcastle because he's just been that good. But let us just get on to... Again, people doubting him. They were saying Tonali doesn't contribute enough goals or assists. He's a defensive midfielder. They put this in halfway through the season when Tonali hadn't contributed. And now let's have a look at his stats. 3 goals, 2 assists for a defensive midfielder and an average rating of 7 across all the competitions. He also has 2 goals and assists in the Carabao Cup, which they won. It just goes to show Sandro Tonali is a top quality player and he has shocked everyone. Don't let anybody now jump on the bandwagon because they didn't believe he would be as good as he is. So fair play Newcastle, you guys have got yourselves a baller.